If you're a Christian, you might have been taught that the Bible centers around God and humans, but there's a wider cast of characters that play a major part in the story. The spiritual beings. You've probably heard of spiritual beings referred to by terms like angels and demons. Many Christians don't know much about them, and a lot of what they do know is based on some major misunderstandings. We're introduced to them at the beginning of the Bible as the sun, moon, and stars, or the host of heaven. God creates them to rule the day and the night, to be signs of seasons and times. This is a difficult concept for us. For most of us, the stars are just giant burning balls of gas in outer space, because we've been steeped in a more scientific view of the world. But the Bible isn't trying to teach science any more than a cookbook is trying to teach you how to farm. For the biblical writers and their neighboring nations, they believe the stars were alive. When they looked up at the night sky, the stars were how they talked about the reality of the spiritual realm, a dimension outside the physical world, but also part of it. In their culture, the stars were connected to the spiritual beings that inhabit the unseen realm. The glorious, shining high status of the stars are symbols of God's glory, power, and status. Later in the Bible, it tells us that these beings sang together and shouted for joy as God created the world. If you're a Tolkien fan, Ainulindale of the Silmarillion may be coming to mind. In Genesis 1, God shows his authority over the disordered waters and darkness by creating an ordered world. He separates the heavens above from the land below. But in the Bible, they aren't fully separated. The unseen realm and the physical realm overlap at certain places. One of those places was the Garden of Eden. Throughout the Bible, it's described as a high mountain garden of God, a place where heaven meets earth. We live in the earthly realm. The spiritual beings inhabit the heavenly realm. Humans can't just enter God's realm whenever they want, so God often sends members of his heavenly host on missions to the humans in the physical realm, but only at God's command. This happens throughout the Bible. God sends these spiritual ambassadors as messengers. In fact, that's what angel means. In the Old Testament Hebrew, the word for angel is melach. In the New Testament Greek, it's angelos. It means messenger, regardless of whether the being is human or divine. Oh, and in the Bible, angels don't have wings. Wait, what about the cherubim? Cherubim aren't angels. They're divine throne guardians. We'll talk about that in another episode. These spiritual messengers are often mistaken for humans because they look like humans, although sometimes more impressive. It'd be awesome to meet one of them, but the Bible never suggests trying to contact angels. The spiritual realm is a dangerous place for humans. Their realm isn't like our realm. Their bodies aren't like our bodies. All these spiritual beings have different characteristics, but many Christians assume they're all the same, or that they're all just angels. The title of angel is a job description. It's what the subject does, not what they are. The Bible writers did have a word to refer to all inhabitants of the spiritual realm. The word in Hebrew is Elohim. In Greek, it's Theos. It means gods. This may terrify you, because when we say God in English, we immediately think of all-powerful creator of the universe. For the biblical writers, this word described spiritual beings. In 1 Samuel, when Saul visits the witch of Endor, the spirit of the dead prophet Samuel is called an Elohim. When the word Elohim occurs in our English Bibles, it's translated in different ways depending on which spiritual being it's referring to. It can refer to angelic beings, pagan gods, and God Almighty. The biblical writers called the name of their God Yahweh, which was the name he revealed to Moses. But they would also use the category title of Elohim as a proper name. This may all sound really strange to you. So here's an example. Take the word mom. Mom is a title that can refer to people of all walks and statuses of life, even though it refers to a specific role in the family. Her children use the title mom as a proper name, even though they know her name isn't actually mom. If your friend heard you say, "I'm going to pick up mom from the airport," they know you mean your specific mother. And also, they know her name isn't actually mom. If your brother or sister is with you, they know exactly who you're talking about. Likewise, if a biblical author said, "There is no one like God," a fellow Israelite knew they were referring to Yahweh. At this point, you might say, "Hey, wait a minute. Don't the biblical writers claim Yahweh is in a class of his own, far above the other spiritual beings?" They do. Yahweh is an Elohim, but no other Elohim is Yahweh. They say things like, Yahweh is the Elohim of Elohim, because he's more powerful than any other Elohim. He is the God of gods. Or they'll say things like, there is no Elohim besides Yahweh, because even though Yahweh is a spiritual being, there is no spiritual being who compares to him. He is the Lord of hosts, the cosmic king of the multitudes in heaven and on earth, the creator. Everything was ultimately given life by him, including all the Elohim. This is what biblical monotheism looks like. After learning all this, we can now explore more about the spiritual beings in the Bible and the roles they play throughout the narrative. There's a special class of spirit beings known by many titles in the Bible, like the sons of God, the Watchers, and the Divine Council. That's who we'll look at in the next episode.